So you say you're up, and now you're on your way. And you bring your Gucci bag, so no, you can't just stay. Cause you came ready to have a good time tonight. Cause you came ready to have a good time tonight. Thank you guys. You guys are back around too. You stuck around. You must like it. My name is Aristotle Jones. Man, I had a really great time playing my influences for you and kind of telling you some stories to get to know me. And now, in the fall of last year, I put out a few more songs. So I'm going to play you some more songs that you can find online. And then maybe I'll tell you a couple cool stories along the way. So you guys ready for some more music? Yeah. All right. This next song is, see, I'm a pretty cool guy, but the one thing I'm not too cool for is love. So this next song's called Too Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got a question for you, baby. Why do you want to ask it? I make you feel things that you feel in bed. Cause I ain't too cool for love. And I ain't too cool for love. No, but my armor on the outside, so I'm strong. My heart is every time I see you, but I ain't too cool. For you, baby. Oh, you ain't walking, no. You go on and tell friends that you met a good man like me. Oh, cause I ain't too cool for love. No, I ain't too cool for love. No, I got my armor on the outside, so I'm strong. My heart knows every time I see you. No, I ain't too cool for love. Oh, you got what I want. You got what I need. You got what I like. You got good love, and I give it, amen. You got what I want. You got what I need. You got what I like. You got good love. You got what love. Ain't too cool love. No, I ain't too cool love. No, my armor on the outside. I'm strong. My armor's every time I see you. Oh, my armor on the outside. Yes, I'm strong. My armor's every time I see you. Oh, I got my armor on the outside. Inside I'm strong, but my armor's every time I see you, baby. I ain't too cool for love. Too cool for love. You guys are awesome, man. See, like Appalachian Soul is really about being yourself. No matter, one of the last things my grandfather said to me, he goes, man, just be yourself, man. You know what you're doing. And I thought to myself, wow, that's what a profound statement. And at the end of his life, he always talked about two things. One, he never really talked, he had a farm, so there was always work to do. And he would look at this farm, and one day he goes, man, I'm never gonna get all this work done. But you know what I'm saying? But that's okay, because he did everything, like he created a place where like future generations will continue to work and we'll move forward. But the one thing he really talked about wasn't the coal mine, and it wasn't the the farm work. He's like, man, I just like making music, just like singing. So man, no matter what you do, just be yourself. Let your freak flag fly. Whatever way you're creative, whatever way you like to just be yourself, man, tell jokes, laugh with your friends, celebrate, and especially love hard. So I'm gonna sing your love song. You got a tough mind in a tender heart, and girl, your body is a work of art. In another way that you wear your smile, it always looks brand new. It's just your style. And I'm gonna find as many ways as I can keep the light in your eyes. As many days as there are stars in the sky. Oh girl, you can count on me. Baby, yeah, still let them hit the time. Oh, there's a way. But when we get together, oh, the stars gonna fly high. There's no doubt in my mind, it's gonna be bright. And I'm gonna find as many ways as I can keep the light in your eyes. As many days as there are stars in the sky, I'm gonna find many ways as I can keep the light in your eyes. As many days as there are stars in the sky. Oh girl, you can count on me. Oh girl, you can count on me. Oh girl, you can count on me. You know you can count on me. I like that one. Now that song was written for a specific girl, and then I let her listen to it. I didn't tell her it was for her. And this is the feedback I got. Tis a love song. So, I was like, I'm going to write something with a little bit more substance next time. So, I'm from this little town that's just to the north side of Morgantown called Osage, West Virginia. Now in Osage, West Virginia, is part of this little settlement community called Scotts Run Settlement. And in Scotts, it was a coal mining community where they brought in, like, man, a lot of sharecroppers from the South. That's how my family got there. Moved there for opportunity. A lot of first generation Italians and Germans would move to the area because they could get jobs in the mine. So in the 1930s, Eleanor Roosevelt in the New Deal, you know, we're going to have a war on poverty and eliminate very poor places, visited the area and went to Osage and looked around. She goes, "Hey, Franklin, this place sucks." Not quite in those words, but she looked at it and she goes, "I can't believe anybody could possibly survive on this poor conditions. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put aside some land up in Preston County, which is just over the border here in West Virginia, for a town called Arthurdale, and you guys can move there and you don't have to be in this awful conditions anymore." And that's a really great idea. So what in practice happened was she left the people that were there in charge of who got to go and who had to stay. So they would do things, you get it. So they would do things like, if you were a first generation immigrant, you're out. If your forehead was too broad, you're out. If your skin was too dark, you're out. And so like they were very selective about who could go and be part of this, and there wasn't much oversight. So what happened was they took a lot of people when they started new lives as farmers. It turns out the ground wasn't really good for growing much up there. But I'm not, I mean, that's just, you get it, man. But it's still property. But what happened to the people that were left, shortly after that, there was a mine collapse. And it ended up wiping out a lot of the population that were there. And so this next song, that's kind of, tells part of that story. But there's a guy that's in Osage where I currently live. His name's Al Anderson. And he kind of is the guy that they call in to Arthurdale when they want to have, tell us the history of Osage. So he's like the Osage historian. So when I moved to Osage, I'm just hanging out, doing some porch picking, and Al Anderson happens to stumble across him. So this is kind of like a story about Osage now and Osage where it's been. And it's a song that's not released yet, so you guys are going to get a little secret song. But that's to give you a little context on where I'm coming from. It's called Peace Osage. You guys ready to hear it? Yeah. Let's go. Down at the end of the road in Osage, there is a little shoe shop. And if you can find time to stop in, well, old Al Anderson will find time to talk. He'll tell you how he fixed all the souls, worn down as time marched along. And how he loves watching the people dance in his shoes while he's also singing his songs. 'Cause you can learn the most by listening to those who have made the most of time. And that's just one of those lessons that most of us learn a little too late in life. He told me how the town started from nothing, just a bunch of poor folks who built tougher than time.